you're a bass player using Line 6 multi-effects units, odds are you're paying for dozens of guitar effects and amps that you're never going to use. Today, we're going to unpack that hidden cost in these pedals, the bass tax that all of us bass players are paying. Let's get into this. My name is Pastor Groove, and thank you for watching. So a lot of you are using Line 6 or you're thinking about it. I just did a video that I'm going to link down below where it shows I ditched my whole pedal board for Line 6 HX Stomp, and it works great, sounds great. But something I didn't think about when I bought that was all of the stuff in there that I'm basically not going to use. I'm going to pull up the HX editor. You go down, and then all of these banks, look at all of these. Effects, they're not bass specific, direct. Look at all of these. It's not until you get this far down that you get into the bass presets. It's got 128 presets, 274 effects, 112 amps. So as best as I could pull out of the HX Stomp, just bass specific, 52 presets out of the 128. Out of the 274 effects, 91 of them. And I was guessing maybe a third, roughly, that could be used. And out of the amps, 17 out of 112 amps that you paid for as a bass player, you can only use 17 of them. You're paying for a lot in these pedals that you're not using. You know, I went to buy my Stomp XL. I sold all my pedals. Sold my pedal board, sold my power unit to pay for the Stomp XL. What I should have paid for is about a third of that $750. I didn't think about that when I bought it. I think if I really thought about it, I would have put a little bit more consideration into it. You know, there are other units out there. If you go on Sweetwater and you look at multi-effects units, check this out. You got the Boss GT. Look at that guitar bass multi-effects unit. The GX100 guitar bass, the ME90B, that is just bass specific. Zoom, it's got bass specific. Dark glass, but man, that dark glass, that thing is, the anagram is so expensive. The Neural DSP guitar bass, all the guitar bass, the Tonex guitar bass. This is a bass tax, a hidden bass tax in all these units that us bass players are paying for. And I don't understand why we have to pay for the whole unit just to use a third of it. And this is my question, is why don't all of these manufacturers, Line 6, Neural DSP, the Tonex, why don't you buy the unit and you just buy a bass pack just specifically and you load it into the unit? Or if you're a guitar player, you buy a guitar pack. If you want to have keyboard effects or other effects, and you buy those packs and you load it into the unit. Why are we paying all this extra money for a ton of stuff that we're not going to use? I kind of partially regret spending this much unit. Like I said, this HX Stomp XL, great unit. I've raved about the simple pitch effect on there that I've used a ton of times because I'm getting a little older. My wrist, it was giving me problems with a 5-string. So I sold the 5-string. And I just now play 4-string. I just played at a Pentecostal church a couple of weeks ago, and they've got songs in E flat and songs in D. So what I did is I simply took that simple pitch effect and I basically transposed my whole bass either down to E flat or down to D. And it was great, worked great, sounded fine, simplified it. I got that low E flat or that low D. Love it. It's great. I love the flexibility of them. You know, I can do all these presets. I had worked for a minute with a jazz fusion band, and we did Mahavishnu, so I had a preset set for that sound, for Brand X, a preset set for my fretless. I've got a preset for the church I play at primarily. I know that's a good sound there. And I've got another preset for the Pentecostal church that I know that it sounds good there. I mean, that's great. I love it. I just hate the fact that I've got all of this stuff on this multi-effects unit that I'm never going to use, but I paid for. That money's gone. But I think if enough of us just start saying to Line 6, hey, you know, can you go back, like the days that I had the oh, what was it? The pedal XT Live for bass. It was just for bass. Great. I think that was the last one of that quality and those many effects that they made just for bass. Now you've got the Pod Express, which it's a fine unit, but it's not what I was looking for. I can't use that and have the flexibility that I was wanting, and is why I got the Stomp XL. Preference, I guess. I'm not a big fan of Zoom. Some people like them and say they sound great. One of these days, maybe if I can, I'll get one of these places like Sweetwater. Hey, if they can send me a Zoom, I'll do a comparison between the Zoom, the Boss, and the HX and see which one sounds better. But I'm kind of not made out of money. I just spent all the money on these effects that I'm never going to use. Okay, I'm being a little sarcastic. I like Line 6. I like the sound of it. Some people like Boss, some people like Zoom, and that's great. Just for the flexibility, the presets, and everything. Yeah, I like the Line 6. Maybe if enough of us bass players kind of start speaking up, saying, hey, can you remember us bass players again and quit charging us this bass tax? Get the unit, it's blank, and you buy the pack for whatever instrument that you're going to play. That's simple. That's easy to do. But I guess for them, why do it? If they can keep making us bass players pay for a bunch of stuff that we don't need. Bottom line is, if you're going to buy one of these units, really think about it. Think, what do I really want to get out of this? Why am I buying this? What am I going to really use on it? And what sound quality am I really going for? Most situations, quite honestly, people in the audience are not going to know the difference between a Line 6, a Boss unit, or a Zoom, or the Dark Glass. It's only the musicians are going to notice the difference. Well, we're not playing for musicians. We're playing for people that enjoy music. And if you play well, odds are they're not going to notice unless it's a horrible sound. Really think, what do you really want to pay for? When I look back on this, I kind of question, going, do I really want to pay this extra money? I probably would have looked at options a little bit deeper. That's my thought for today. Why don't you tell me in the comments you think? You agree with that? Is that a base tax? Are you okay with paying for that? If you get any value out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And I appreciate all of you that are watching and that have subscribed so far. And remember, always serve well and have fun. See you next time.